Alright guys, so let's talk about the double undercut for just a moment. The reason why we all learn it, it's the first thing we all learn as a new card magician, is the first control we learn is because it's quick, it's effective, and it's efficient, and it gets the job done right, but there has to be a time in our journey where we learn different controls and techniques that also gets the job done just as quick and effective. Now, you may love the double undercut. You may use it for all of your controls and you have no problems with it, and that's just fine. But I thought I would share with you and teach you 3 alternatives to it that are just as quick, effective, and efficient. And might I add, all of these 3 techniques are just as easy, if not easier. Let's get into it. Okay, so I forgot to mention in that intro that each of these controls are designed for walk-around situations, so it's all in-the-hands techniques. You don't need a table for any of these controls, okay? So the first one is going to look like this. So you have a card chosen, and they look at it, and they remember it, and you say that you'll cut into the deck somewhere like this. You can see it all the way down there like this, but with just a little snap, it jumps to the top of the deck. All right, now these controls are not done to be as tricks like this. This is just a control. Okay, so you can if you want to, I guess, for an ACR, but these are just the techniques, okay? So now, I've always said in all of my videos that you can use a false cut as a card control, okay? So, and that's exactly what you'll be doing in this technique. And this false cut is called the Perilino false cut, and it's going to happen like this. So they select a card, and they look at it, and you put it back on top of the deck, or they can do it, and you say you'll cut it into the deck, right? And you can see it go in all the way down there, but boom, it's right there on top. Now, it just looks like a regular 3-packet false cut, right? But it's not. It's a whole deck retention false cut, which is nice. And here's how the false cut looks, and then obviously you'll know how to do the control because it's the technique itself. So you'll take the pack in and the grip like this, and you'll begin a swing cut like this, just a standard swing cut. We all know how to do that. And what you'll do here is, after the swing cut, don't replace it quite yet like this, but keep it elevated above here and begin another swing cut like this. And then after you do that, you want to grasp the bottom portion, the one you just swung over, between your thumb and your third finger like this. So you're holding 3 packets here between your thumbs, or I'm sorry, between your thumb, index, middle, and ring here, just like that. So once again, you're like this, swing a packet over into your hand, break off another about half with your index. Now grasp all 3 packets with these 3 fingers, index, middle, and ring. So you're like this. Now after that, what you're going to do is, after you do the first swing cut, boom, like this, and you're here, what you're going to do is sort of like swing this over a bit more, and then grasp both packets between your, the crotch of your hand here, like this, still stepped, right? So you want to keep that sort of step happening, and just replace it on top. So this stepped configuration looks as though it's really a 3-packet false cut, and this sort of goes along with Gabby's waiter's theory, right? So they see this configuration, these steps here, and it sort of confirms it that the packet was cut 3 times, even though it wasn't, right? So in full speed, you're like this, and it really looks like it's a real cut, all right? But it's just a false cut. So once again, in slow motion, first packet over into your hand, boom, about half. As you go to do this, grasp all 3 at the same time. As soon as you do this, as soon as you grasp all 3, that's exactly when you grasp these top 2, keeping that upper one stepped. And then here, just simply replaces it back on top with a plop. So, since a false cut is a false cut, the top card is retained anyway, so you can have a card chosen and have it replaced on top. We'll go with that 7 of hearts this time. I'll leave it face up so we can follow it. Now just do the false cut, making it look like you cut to the deck, but it just stays on top. And the cool thing about this is that because of the step, you can point it out like, look, it's all the way down there. You can see it go in, boom, and then slowly square it up like this, and then it's on top. So face down, it looks pretty good. And you really want to have that convincer in when you do it. So say, look, you can see it all the way down there, boom, and then plop that on top, and then it's a nice control. All right, this next one looks like this. So again, you have a card chosen, and we will we'll put it we'll shuffle it back in the deck like this, and you can see it really goes in there like this, towards the bottom at least, and it's all the way back on top. Okay, guys, so this control cannot be any easier to do. All it is a standard overhand slip shuffle. If you don't know what a slip shuffle is, it's just an extension of a basic overhand shuffle. All you're doing here is starting a overhand shuffle, but keeping the top card in place with your fingers like this. So you want to wrap your fingers around the deck, so all these pads of the fingers are on the top card. Okay, so now just begin an overhand shuffle, retaining that top card, just the top card, as you squeeze, slightly squeeze like this, and that top card will just stay behind like this as you pull some cards out like this, and then just shuffle off. So that top card never changes. I'll do it face up, right? So 5 of hearts on top, just keep it behind as you begin the shuffle like this. Okay, so all you do here, again, you just have a card selected like this, show it around, blah, blah, blah. So you'll shuffle it back to the deck, just do that slip shuffle. And once you reach about maybe a quarter or a third of the deck, stop and do the old, this thing where it looks like you weave them in like this. So they see cards going in the middle of the deck, and it looks like it could be their card, right? But really, it's just retained on top. And it's really important for each of these controls to add these conventors in, right? It really looks like you really sell the fact that the card's going lost somewhere in the middle. So that's what I love about these. So once again, a card is chosen. Boom. We'll go with the 2 of clubs this time. So I'll shuffle it back in the deck somewhere, doing that slip shuffle. Boom. And you can really see it go somewhere in the middle of the deck, right around here. Boom, 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 boom. And just like tap them in. So all I'm doing there for the tapping is I'm stopping about halfway, and I'm just sort of just letting cards drop from my fingertips, just releasing that pressure like this, and it looks like cards are actually being weaved in when they're not really. They're just dropping in there, and so you just tap this in there, and it looks like cards are going in the middle like this, reinforcing that their card is going in the middle somewhere by tapping like this, but really it's just on top the whole time. And so that's a very nice control. Okay, so last but not least, we have a spread control, guys. So card is chosen. Maybe we'll go with the, it's okay that I see it, it's the 3 of hearts, and that's about the middle of the deck, I'd say, but we'll put it a little bit deeper down there, right? Maybe all the way down there towards the bottom, but just a quick riffle like this, and it jumps back to the top of the deck. Okay, so this is the old Shinobi control with a little embellishment that I've added to it, a little bit of a condenser, okay, so an extension to it. So what you're going to do here is have a card touched in the spread, and as soon as they touch a card, say, it's okay that I see it this time, and just flip it face up like this by using the edge of the spread here. So they touch a card, just say, just touch a card, don't take it out, just touch one. And they'll touch one right here. Maybe we'll go with the, boom, the Ace of Hearts in this case. So you're just using the spread to flip it face up like this on top of this packet here. Now it's going to look like you simply do this. All right, just turn it back over and put it in the middle. But you do a sneaky move that uses reverse spread technology. So what you do here, instead of doing this, adding it to where it was, instead you do a reverse spread of these cards like this, adding it to the top of the deck this time, like this. So it really looks like it's going where it was, but it's not. It's just going on top of the deck here. All right, so it's sort of like Vernon's optical move, like with the 3-card Monty move a little bit, right? So you'll just add it to the top of the deck here by pinning it or just shoving it under your thumb here like this. So that's what's happening from underneath. You're just putting it under your thumb, so your thumb holds onto it, right? But that's done here. Now, when you turn back over, of course, that's going to be obvious. So what you do here is reverse spread again, like this, making it look like, and all you're doing here is extending your finger. So once again here, I'll show you, this is such a fun move. So you're like this, reverse spreading as you do so. So you're just curling these fingers in like this and moving your thumb. That's the technique right there. So it's just like this, okay? So you're like this. I know this is redundant, but I'm a teacher, okay? So you're like this. Do the technique like this. You can see how my thumb stretches and my fingers curl in. As you do that, as you turn face up, pin that under your thumb. Just reverse your actions that you just did by stretching your fingers and pulling in your thumb like this. And that's going to look like the same card because of the retention of vision, right? Of course, it's a switch because it's now on top of the deck. I know, I love it. It's so sneaky. But that's a good control on its own, but to further prove it, what you can do is as soon as you do that control, we'll use the 3 of clubs in this case, boom. In fact, that's about halfway. We'll put it a little bit deeper. So now you just spread the deck a little bit like this, and just move it down deeper in the deck. And that whole movement of moving it deeper and turning it over, it just shades the whole thing and makes it just nicer in my opinion. So you can be real fair about it. Boom, boom, boom. And it's on top. So, all these controls can be used as the first three phases of maybe like an ACR because they really kind of flow together in kind of a weird way. So this is what I mean here. So the first one, you'll just do the Shinobi spread control like this. Say just touch a card and they'll touch this, but it's okay that I see it. And why don't you just write your name across of this so you know that it's your card only. Now you just do the control, and that's about halfway, but let's put it a little bit deeper down here. And then they do this, snap, and it's back on top. Now, in fact, this time, let's really make sure it's lost somewhere. Let's just shuffle it back to the deck somewhere, down here somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Snap your fingers, it jumps to the top. Wow, that was weird, right? But let's make sure it's really in the middle. Let's cut it deeper in the pack this time. You can see it all the way down there. Boom, snap, and it's back on top. And you can keep going with any controls you like at this point, like this. Whatever you want to do, snap my finger and it jumps back to the top. I don't know how this is happening. This is kind of weird. Boom, it's on top. A lot of things you can do. A lot of fun you can have with these controls. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take the time to practice these controls. But they are pretty easy. So yeah, just have fun. And I love you guys. Happy practicing.